All right, let's get going here in the sports barn. Late night, almost 2 a.m. here in the secondary studio. It's Thursday, the 18th of February. We got 6 games for you coming up this Thursday evening, and we're going to recap a successful Wednesday, if you can believe that. Superstitious. We're here in the secondary studio yet again because we won again, and it's called a sell outside. We're not going to complain. It could be Texas type cold. It's not that cold here. I saw something that went across the ticker here as I'm, doing some show prep, and it said, I guess, the Dallas Stars canceled a game because of inclement weather. God, I mean, you Canadians just got to be laughing your asses off at us Americans. So, the temperature goes down to 10, and we cancel indoor events. Yeah, well, that's us. We're Americans that, it's cold. Well, that's why I'm in here. I don't want to be out in the barn. It's cold out there. I don't want to go out there. So, we're going to be here for this show. So, hey, let's go over what we did here on Wednesday. 6 winners, 3 losers, 1 postponement for, I assume, COVID reasons. That was that Syracuse game. We liked that game too, and postponed. Oh well. So let's see what we got here. I'll try to put it up here where you can see it. I got another request for bigger font. Hey, I just didn't get to it. It's been a very busy day, and just didn't happen. So we'll try. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day, and I'm gradually teaching myself this video editor. I only have maybe about 2-3 hours of non-handicapping, time not spent with the wife, time not spent asleep, and it's a work in progress. So we're trying. So you're gonna have to just squint because the font's just the same size it was in the previous videos. At any rate, we had NC State. They won by a point. We were right. We were on that one. Good. The 2 off-the-wall mid-major games, those were losers. Evansville, that never came. They got buried early and could never catch up. And then I don't know what happened there. Radford at home, they got wiped out by, which is funny because last year it seemed like Gardner-Webb was our team. I must have put 3 in the bank with Gardner-Webb, and now this year I just haven't found an opportunity to play them. Here I play against them, and they kick my ass. So, my apologies to Gardner-Webb. Did you know that was the original origination? I was going to say destination. That's not right. That is where Artis Gilmore came from. He then went to Jacksonville, and then ultimately into the NBA Hall of Fame. But originally, he was at Gardner-Webb, which, in a way, it's almost like, how's that possible? I know we're talking about shit that happened 50 years ago, but how does a guy that's 7'2" and ultimately destined for the NBA Hall of Fame, how does he end up at a Gardner-Webb? Even 50 years ago, I mean, he couldn't get into North Carolina or something? They didn't want him? I don't know. Of course, back then, we're talking before, that was 50 years ago. Maybe he couldn't get into North Carolina because, oh, wow, he might be good at basketball, but he's one of those guys, a black guy. Ooh. Boy, stupid shit went on back then, huh? So, at any rate, I'm ruminating here. Syracuse, Louisville, that one was postponed. Samford, Furman, that was a good one. Those are ones we're looking for, and that's. I think we catch a few more of those than we lose, maybe. But they're getting a huge number, and they lost by a slightly less huge number, so winner for us. Then the game of the night, at least for us, the game I felt the best about, Kentucky. Kentucky got the win, they got the cover. I'm not real impressed with that Kentucky team. I saw a good bit of this game, and Kentucky got out early, and they did just enough to get the win in the cover. Our hero of the night is from this game. I'll drop him in here. Freshman Devin Askew. I guess he's one of their guards. If not, maybe he's their point guard. I'm not sure. Looking at the box score, just going by memory of what I saw of the game, I think he had a pretty forgettable game. But he found himself on the line with Kentucky up 2 with 2 seconds to go. So we're laying 3.5. He needs to make them both, and he did. So he managed to make the 2 free throws, put us in the winning circle. So for that, Devin Askew, you are our hero of the night. From Sacramento, California, Devin Askew, from us in the Sports Barn, salute. So I was a winner there. Valparaiso did exactly, or maybe I should say Loyola, they did exactly what we hoped they would do. Just kind of had a big old letdown after the Drake series, and it was just a coast game for Loyola. So that one was never really in doubt. I mean, think about that. These teams scored in the 50s, and we were getting 20 points. So, gotta love that. Arizona State, this one looked like we were in it for a while, and then just, it just went away. Arizona State played very little defense. And USC looks pretty strong. It looks like a pretty strong team there. Maybe that's something to be mindful of as we come into the tournament. That the USC looks, not your normal team that you'd be looking for out of the Pac-12. But USC right now looks like they're the best out there. Didn't see a minute of this DePaul game. I just saw some of the scores. It looked like DePaul, another low-scoring game. Great for us when we're catching double digits, and DePaul, I think, had the lead at halftime. So that's good for us. And then the last game of the night, I watched pretty much the second half of this game, and Indiana got it done. I mean, it looked pretty dicey there. Minnesota was hanging with them, and then I think Minnesota got tired. They, they just started to front rim some of those threes that they normally make up there in their barn, and I thought, Indiana might be able to put a spurt on these guys, and that's what happened. I think Minnesota just got tired a little bit, and boy, Indiana made it exciting at the end there, though. Just really sloppy with the ball, could not rebound. Indiana, not a real impressive team, even when they win. They're just kind of there, and so we'll keep that in mind going forward. But they got it done for us tonight. Minnesota. I don't know what you say about Coach Pitino there. I think that's a sign of not such good coaching. It's like you can't win on the road, no matter who you play. Come on, you got to at least get one of these. They're 0 for the Big Ten on the road. And it's not like they played at Michigan and Ohio State and Iowa every night. So this was a game that was there for them. They couldn't get it. They played at Maryland. That's a game that would have been there for them. They couldn't get that one. Minnesota, I've heard speculation that they might miss the tournament altogether if they don't win a road game, which, I think that's fair. win a road game, for Christ's sakes. But we didn't think they would. They didn't tonight. Hooray for us. We were right. 6 wins, 3 losses, 1 postponement. Yay! We're still below 500. I mean, at some point I'm actually going to add the numbers up and put it on a screen here for you just so you can kind of, see for yourself. But I can tell you, we're still probably at least a game or 2 below 500 for the season. Last season, before the world ended, we were in around 52%, maybe a little more than 52%, which I didn't think was terrible, considering that was our first go-round with that. So we'll keep at it, we'll keep at it. Frankly, I don't know you would have gotten a video if I had lost tonight, because I'm getting tired, and I kind of need a day off. But, we got to strike while the iron's hot, right? And, I noticed that we had probably more views in that last Wednesday night video than, I don't know, we ever had in a sports video. So, thanks for stopping by. And I'll do my best to keep content going in a positive direction. So let's see, we got 6 games for Thursday. Before I get to that, I had just a couple mentions here. Saw that I actually tried to get the vaccination today, and I learned a few things. I'm not nearly as optimistic that this is anywhere near over now that I've attempted to get the vaccination. I do not know how my parents hooked this up. I could not get anywhere to even give you a sniff of an appointment. And my wife is 1A. She can go get it right now, according to the government. But no one has it. So I don't know. All I could think of is, maybe my mother, sent them a picture of my father, and they just said, holy shit, look at this guy. We got to get him in there right now. That's, on the other hand, he's always been lucky, so, maybe he's just got lucky and, caught that window where they had 1 dose left for him or something. So, I don't know. But, according to the CDC, there's an extra 900,000 doses floating around the country somewhere that haven't been administered yet. I don't know if they're in Pennsylvania, but where are they? Why does no one have these things? At least here in PA. So, very suspicious. I'm in a good mood because we won, so I don't want to, but a little bit annoying. So, I saw a guy on ESPN last night, and I often leave the TV on after the games are over, and here, I'm looking for some highlights of college basketball, and all ESPN, their highlights are basically the NBA. So, at any rate, they were talking about sports movies, and I was just totally struck by this, where one of the guys, I guess, in the LA studio, that I don't know his name, I don't recognize him, he hasn't seen some of these core sports movies. He hadn't seen Caddyshack, he hadn't seen Happy Gilmore. I mean, I'm not an Adam Sandler aficionado, but I've seen Happy Gilmore. He hasn't seen Slapshot. How do you work for the worldwide leader in sports and you haven't seen some of these mainstay sports movies like Slapshot? How is that possible? I don't know. I guess Slapshot's obviously a comedy, but it is a sports movie. It's a lot more than a sports movie. It's a movie about rough times, economic, small town economic problems in the small town. Anyway, I just thought that was odd. That's like, wow, there's a guy who works for a worldwide leader and he hasn't seen some of these obvious sports movies. At any rate, oh, and then the last thing I wanted to say is I saw Rush Limbaugh died. So, you know, I know some of you people, Democrats obviously, were not Rush Limbaugh fans, but I liked him. You know, I think he was a very significant person in this country over the last 30 years. Oddly enough, I mean, I think I could probably trace back my maturation, my moving into the libertarian way of thinking. Yeah, I think I can trace it back to him. I used to be a Democrat when I was young in the 20s. Have you ever heard that quote? I think it's attributed to Churchill. I think it goes something along the lines, a man at age 20 who is not a socialist has no heart. A man at 30 who is not a conservative has no brains. Something along those lines. And that's attributed to Churchill. So, you know, in my 20s, I was a Democrat because I figured the government could fix everything and all the world's problems could be solved by just if we all hugged each other and got together. And then I read a book by Rush Limbaugh, and that got me thinking a little more about some of those things. Plus, I mean, just life experiences also then kind of like, maybe government is not the solution to everything, or frankly, anything. But he got me thinking along those lines to begin with, so sorry to see he's gone. You know, it was just a matter of time. The guy had lung cancer. But that's you know, we'll say goodbye to Rush Limbaugh for us in the sports barn. My cigar keeps going out. I guess Rush Limbaugh used to smoke cigars. Maybe that's why he had lung cancer. I don't know. You don't really suck cigar smoke into your lungs if you're doing it correctly. If you are, you're probably not doing it correctly. Alright, let's put up Thursday's games here while I goof around with the cigar. There we go. Alright, Thursday's games. Got a pretty interesting slate here. I'm just pulling up the whole schedule. Some of these I couldn't make heads or tails out of. There's some pretty big games here. We're just going to have to kill that. That's not working. Houston. Houston versus Wichita State. Normally, this is not a place I would be. But I'm going to be on Houston here. I think just Wichita doesn't have Greg Marshall anymore. He was their coach forever. He made that team really tough. That was a tough team to play. At home, damn near impossible. But, you know, two things. One, you got an empty arena. Two, you don't have Greg Marshall. So, you know, apparently, yeah, he may have been it sounds like the guy was a Bobby Knight kind of guy where he would just, you know, abuse the living shit out of his players. But he'd win. You know, what do we care? We're betters. You know, I'm not getting yelled at. I'm not being called an asshole or a cocksucker. So what do I care? You know, but, you know, apparently the university got tired of it and said, we're not putting up with this. We don't care how much you win. No more Greg Marshall. So, you know, hey, advantage us if we're taking Houston. So that's what we're doing. I think Houston's a top flight team, probably just head and shoulders above anything in the American, and I think they score. So, you know, we're only laying 7.5 here. If this game ends up in the 90s, I don't think that's going to be that much. So that's where we're going to be here with Houston to flatten Wichita State at Wichita. The American East, interesting game here. You got, basically, this is a showdown for who's going to win the regular season conference title between Vermont and Baltimore County, which is kind of interesting in that I guess now the NCAA has turned loose these conferences and said, all right, it's up to you. You can determine who gets to go. You can have your normal traditional tournament, and that is who gets to go to the NCAA tournament. The winner of the your playing your tournament at the end of the season, or you can send the regular season champion, which I think is opening up things for a real mess. I've heard things like BYU's talking about not playing in the tournament in the West Coast. Gonzaga's talking about not playing in the West Coast tournament. It just doesn't. I don't like it. But at any rate, I don't know if the America East is going to, have a tournament. How they're determining it. I think they're still going to have their tournament and have the winner of the tournament be the representative to the NCAA. I just thought it was interesting because, basically the winner of this 2-game set between Vermont and Baltimore County, that's going to be your regular season champion in the American East. We're taking Vermont. They're a historic power in the American East. Another thing I thought was interesting is that apparently Becker, that's the coach of Vermont, he's rumored pretty strongly to be a head candidate, that's the word I'm looking for, a head candidate for the Boston College job. The Boston College coach, he's been 86th. So now Becker, because he's a New England coach, I guess, if you will, they're thinking, all right, that'll fit pretty nicely, maybe. Who is they? College basketball talking heads, I guess. So they're thinking Becker will be a nice fit there. If I'm Becker, I'm thinking, wouldn't it be great? What a job resume enhancer if I win my conference while they're looking at me for the big payday. So he might just have a little more motivation in this game and really want to get the W's here. So we're going to go ahead, take Vermont. They're getting a point. It's kind of a toss-up game, but we'll take Vermont. All right, the Valley, the Ohio Valley. We've not done well in the Valley. But we're going back into how's that go? Into the Valley of Death, Road to 600. I think that's a British thing. I can't quite place it. I'm pretty sure it's from British literature. But we're going to ride into the Valley of Death again. Probably be another L. Belmont will probably put up 100 on these guys. But, Jacksonville State, their record's 14-7. How bad could they be? Come on. We're getting 12.5 points. Let's keep it close, Jacksonville State. So we'll take the 12.5. This one it's like, all right, I got to pick this one. This one's just, this is I don't expect this game to be close, but it's the number one team in the country. It's a team that's undefeated. It's a team that reasonably could run the table and be the first undefeated team since 1976. I think you got to play this game just as a, basketball fan. This is probably a totally square pick here, but I'm going to take Gonzaga. I'm thinking of it along these lines, in that 20 points, and St. Mary's is their historic, I guess, quote, rival in that conference. And I've looked at the scores that St. Mary's and Gonzaga have played each other, and generally they're within 20. So that kind of is like, do I really want St. Mary's? So, do I really want St. Mary's? Gonzaga has a great home record. And I get it, there are no fans there. Don't mean no fans. But their record is just so damn good at home, especially in conference. And I don't know. I'm thinking two things here. One, if I'm Mark Few, I want to put the fear of God into that NCAA field. I want them to fear me. And I'm going to go out there and grease these guys by as much as possible. They beat San Francisco by, 39? I'm going to try to do something similar to these guys. So those first couple rounds, when I'm playing, a Rutgers or a middle-of-the-road power team like Florida, I made that up, Arkansas, somebody like that, I don't want these guys to have any hope that they could beat me. I want them to think I'm the greatest team ever and just know they have no chance. So I want to intimidate the shit out of the rest of the NCAA field, and I'm going to do that by killing these guys. And then the other thing is, what if this is a historic team? Think about that. What if this was the 1990 UNLV Running Rebels, and you're only laying 20 points against some team that's not going to make the tournament and nobody knows, and you're getting Larry Johnson minus only 20? Yeah, I'd take that all day. Absolutely. So, like I said, this could be completely square, but I'm going to go ahead with Gonzaga. Next, you get this game. I'm not a fan of this game, but it fits the model so well. I just gotta go with Rutgers. I mean, Michigan's owned Rutgers. It basically, Rutgers can't shoot at all. Michigan can, and Rutgers just probably can't muck up the game the way they want to, because Michigan just shoots over them and makes lots of threes, and the game's out of hand before they know it. The only reason I'm on Rutgers here is this weekend Michigan plays at Ohio State. So that's the only thing I'm thinking is you might be looking ahead. Just might be looking ahead to the big game with the other good team or the other best team in the Big Ten, and just kind of overlook Rutgers. Rutgers has been playing better lately, so I could kind of see Rutgers maybe putting a good effort out there. Maybe Ron Harper, he hasn't played well in, the last half of the season, but maybe he puts together a good effort, actually hits a couple threes maybe. That would be helpful. Not crazy about it, but we'll take the 9.5 with Rutgers. And then a late night game, I feel okay about this one. You sure about that? We got to have a late night game, right? You don't go to bed, and neither do I. So we got to have a late night game. And I like Oregon at home. This Oregon-Colorado series, I think this is one where Colorado is a really good home team. I think that probably has something to do with the altitude. They're not so good on the road. So Oregon has trouble at Colorado, vice versa. And we're only laying 3 here. I think we have a coaching advantage with Altman over Tad. Is that his name? Tad Boyle. So I think only laying 3 here, that's where we want to be. So there you have it. Good. Very good. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. New subscribers, we like you. We appreciate you signing up. Anybody that's passing through here, and it's more than normal, thanks for showing up. Tell your friends. Hey, right now we're picking just slightly more winners than losers. Whoopee! That's what we like. So let's get some more W's here. This college season's really starting to heat up. And, we got another good 4 or 5 weeks of good college basketball, so we're looking forward to it. All right, that's all we have for you. From me to you, thanks, and I'm signing off now.